Dumelang Sambanani, hello South Africa. A very warm welcome to Expressions. This is definitely the place for you to air your views. I'm your host, Jacqueline Mapala.
Sinibingelela sinamukele ngumxolisiwe kwamasango. Now siqhubekela phambili ngenkulumo ebalekile around the class of 2021. Mawuthi umuntu omusha lapha ekhaya who did not do well perhaps in your matric exams or wish to rewrite in the year 2022, we continue to be your handy guide. Sizobe sinixhumanisa with experts alike who'll be sharing some advice on your next move as you sit and plan at home. Now, what do you have to say about the conversations that we're having namhlanje? Now, we were in Limpopo, Jackie, because we essentially where every young person is in the country to touch base with two young people who are, planning their next move, seeing that they did not really do well in their matric exams. And one of them is also a feel-good story. Let's take you there. So namhlanje sise Danielton eNtwane village khona la eLimpopo where we are touching base nomuntu omosha oDemakatse wakaMokwena is a 21-year-old yena ozithole sekufuneke futhi aphinde imatric yakhe this year, but more importantly as well see Expressions sifuna ukugauge and find out whether does she know about our options are available to yena as well as to you muntu omusha who will have to repeat their matric. Let's go and meet her and have the chat. Mawasixoxela istory sakho ngokuthi what happened
during the festive season 2020, December 2020. On Christmas Eve, my father was murdered right here in this yard.
Kona like her?
Yes. While we were asleep, people broke in, and then they started demanding money, and then they were given that money, but then they were not satisfied. So my father has a house around here in Twane. So they demanded him to take him to that house so that probably they could find some more money there. And then as soon as we rushed to the police station to inform the police with this matter, we got a phone call saying that the person that you're looking for is somewhere lying in a ditch. So in that way, he was no more.
Kuyadabukisa ukuzwa ukuthi you've had to go through a trauma engaka ngesikhathi esibalekile kangaka at the time where you're supposed to be gearing up for your future and preparing to write ama-exams akho. What were some of your biggest challenges during sonke leso sikhathi?
I could not study because maybe while others were sleeping, I would maybe cross night or something, but then I would get terrified to sit by myself to study. And so obviously when you're studying, you just have to be by yourself so that you can focus and not be disturbed.
Mhlambe also let's talk about support buyithola la ekhaya with abantu abanawe la ekhaya. Did you get any support at all?
We couldn't really support each other because we all a mess. And yeah, I did get professional help, but I don't see myself healing until justice has been served.
Na support yona re amofa yona. Sometimes kuna lo gore ishmakere go se sekolong at least then I feel comfortable. Good idea re o bela sekolong cause mona go ya go ne byanong ntle le sekolo you won't do nothing.
So Demi, here's ilanga lama results comes, right? And we are told ukuthi you didn't do well. In fact, you didn't pass at all. What happened ngaleso sikhathi leso? Take me through leso sikhathi leso when all of that was happening.
Well, I was hurt, but I wasn't really surprised because I knew how much of a mess I was during that year. So I've just told myself that I have to figure out a way to deal with this so that it can't affect me going forward.
Do you, as a young person, njengamanje, perhaps know about options that are available to you now that you didn't do well for your matric?
Yes, I do have a bit of an idea, and I'm still trying to do some more research. So, yes, I'm on it. I think I'll just take a gap year, upgrade, and try to find myself and try to heal, most importantly. Then I can take it from there.
So, what do you want to do when you finish writing and you find out that you've passed? What would you like to do?
Well, I'd like to do radiation therapy. Yes.
Maybe talk to us about what lifts you during this time that you at. What makes Utimi light up?
It's obviously my father. He was my role model. He was a communist. He was successful. So I think he would also love to see me being successful. People tend to undermine depression. So a lot of people are depressed, especially the youth, because they're going through a lot, and so they're even afraid to share the pain that they're going through because of judgments. So I'm encouraging them to speak up, to never bottle things up, because at the end of the day, life has to go on. So, yeah.
So we are still in Limpopo. This is Limpopo, Emuteti village, where we're touching base with 22-year-old Franz. Welcome to the show, Mfetu Wahlulega, with your matric in, I think it was the year 2020, right? So you had to repeat for 2021. I know to Pasile this time. Congratulations on that. But take me through the point, Lako Nabo, where you had to repeat. What happened?
It was never easy. People were talking. I was under pressure. Like, I couldn't go to play with my friends because I failed. I took positive attitude out of me, and then I told myself that I'm going back to school, and I'm gonna make myself proud.
Tell me about that moment when you found out, Guti, you failed.
First, I applied to receive my results via SMS. When I switch on the phone in the morning, I got the SMS saying there are no results for this, blah blah. Go to your nearest school and check. I went to complex and checked the paper. I checked the wrong school, but I checked the last three numbers. They were corresponding to mine, so I thought I've passed. That was higher certificate. So I went to school. Then I was happy, hoping that I've passed. Well, we were receiving our statements. Then I was like, the statement saying this candidate doesn't qualify for national senior certificate. Apply for supplementary entry. I didn't talk to anyone. I just folded my statement, put it in the pocket. I went home straight. I closed myself in the room. I cried. It wasn't easy. I cried for almost a week. Then I went back to school telling them that I want to repeat my matric. I had a bad history with my principal. So in first he refused. He said, no, so I was like, mistake. By then it was me begging him. Before he was begging me, go to class. I was like, no, say. So by then I was begging him to say, please, I want to come back to school and repeat my matric.
How did you get yourself ready to get things done and pass the second time around?
The time I went there, I was supposed to register for supplementary. There was this teacher. He told me that if you come back to school and study hard, you can make it. You are not dumb, it's just that you are playful. He told me that don't suffer, because supplementary will beat you until you leave school. You will be spending almost 5 years fixing your matric, only to find out it won't be fixed. So he said to me, he suggested that come to school, register as a full-time, not part-time. So I said, principal refused. I'll talk to him, and he did. Then I bring that parent. So that teacher, he's the reason why I went back to school. I still thank him today. When we arrived there, I was not alone. when we arrived there, we were called stupid. You know, some learners will say, let's go one so repeat. And then that thing touched us, and that's what encouraged us to work hard to prove them wrong. Instead, later on, they came back to us and seek for help, and we did help them. Yeah.
So ngifuna ukuthi kusitsheleke manje ukuthi what's the way forward njoba so uphasile manje, what's the way forward for you, uplana ukwenzani?
Now I was planning to do administration office. First thing first, you have to check your background, where you're coming from. So the main cause of why I went back to school, I wanted to change my home situation. So I even told my parents, I said, no, I'm going back to school. I'm still young, and I know I'm capable, I can do this. And luckily enough, they've supported me since the beginning.
O ile a re o kgopela gore a boele sekolong ka ge a nyaka go bušeletša matric, a nyaka go phasa gabotse. Re ile ra lokologa dipelong, re fela ke mo support-a le ausi ya gage. Re fela re mo a sekamile go ntse re mo sekamolla. Gore ile a kgotlelela go fitlhela le gone bjalo. A re botša gore awa ebile ke tšweletse ka morela ka re ke a leboga.
If never give up as a person, that will be definitely me, because I did not give up. If you still have a chance, you might as well utilize it. It's still early. It's never too late. Some are at their 80s, they are graduating at this moment. So school is something that you will never ever get old for.
A powerful insert and reminding us that we definitely can learn from our failures. There definitely is a second chance. We continue with this very important discussion after the break. You're watching Expressions.
Phinde sinibengela sinamukele, you're still watching Expressions. So umuntu omusha that is still sitting at home, still contemplating their next move after not doing well in your matric exams, we continue to be your handy guide as we're having all these important conversations ohlelweni namhlanje. What do you have to say about the conversations that we are having? It's now time to also find out what some of the young people have to say. Take a look.
Hi, my name is Takatsuma Rapedi, and I'm going to be your street journal for today. So, Tobile, what advice would you give to the class of 2022?
There's like different study methods, right? If something works for him, it doesn't necessarily mean it will work for me.
They should sleep a lot, get 8 hours of sleep, drink water when they're studying, and practice on what they want to do in the future, and so they have a good life ahead of them.
Get enough rest, just calm down, relax, and take it easy, and just study the work and stick to the stuff that you know.
What are your plans for this year, and why have you chosen to go with whatever it is that you're all going with?
My future plan is to go to school, like more school, since like I'm not a business-minded person, so more school would do.
Taking a gap year did not suit me. I decided mainly because life is too short, and I want to achieve what I want as quickly and as fast as I can be.
So I would definitely like to get into sexology. I would like to spread the gospel of getting better education in South Africa about sex, sexuality, and embracing female and sexual liberation, basically.
I'd encourage them to go upgrade their marks. Like, it's never too late. Don't give up. Like, don't listen to people telling you about you won't make it in life.
Focus on what you like. Do something that you wake up to every day and see yourself that I really like this and I want to pursue this more often.
Just get back out there, do your thing, maybe find other interests if you must, and just do your thing.
Like everyone here has said, it's never too late. Go out there, go for whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to improve your marks, go improve your marks. You have so many options out there. You can go to a private college if that's what you want to do. You can start a business if you feel strongly about it, but just don't sit and wallow in the depression that might come with not passing. It's never too late to go after what you want to do.
You're watching Expressions, your number one youth current affairs show. We're putting a very important spotlight on the matric class of 2021. And if for whatever reason you have not done well or you have failed, we are definitely your plug. We're going to be giving you information on what is the next step, because I know for a lot of you, Kochae, you're asking yourself, what now? And right now we are with Terence Kala from the Department of Basic Education to find out what are their plans, what are their programs for someone like you. Do you have options? That's what we're going to be answering today. Terence, a very warm welcome to Expressions.
Thank you very much, and as always, thank you for the opportunity.
Excellent. And like you heard in my intro, what are the plans and the programs that you have in place for the class of 2021 who have not done really well, who want to improve their marks, or I think specifically who have failed in this particular year?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate those that did achieve. I think I want to congratulate everybody that made such a great success of the 2021 NSC. Well, I think for those candidates that haven't achieved at the level at which they wish to have, there's a couple of options. The first option is for them to then apply for the May-June examinations. So those, the applications close on the 13th of February, and that offers all candidates an opportunity to really rewrite the examinations for which they sat. So this could be owing to a myriad of factors, obviously one being the one that they haven't achieved as well, but secondly, perhaps a candidate was ill and couldn't write the examination. So this then offers them an opportunity to be able to do that and really improve the marks that they've achieved.
What kind of platforms are you utilizing for the matric class of 2021 to actually access some of these services that you have? Can they apply online? I mean, tell us about the application process.
Well, certainly, I think the application process is available online. Candidates can also go to their nearest district office. But I think just to expand a little bit more on the Second Chance Matric Support Program that we have as the department, this is what will be able to allow candidates to gain extra tuition and gain actually access to additional support for them to be able to actually flourish within their second opportunity. So there we have a myriad of opportunities. A candidate can go online where they can find then some broadcast lessons that are pre-recorded and on our website. They can also access some study material, but there are also face-to-face lessons that are available as well, obviously in adherence to COVID-19 protocols. But I think what's important is that candidates have options and they can access support in a way that is most beneficial to them as well. Well, the first thing that we've done as a department is we've been able to get our site zero rated. So that means that you can be able to access our site at no charge. So what this does is it really then expands the portal of access for people that really would be suffering from what you're indicating, that data really is a high cost. There is also Waza Matrix. We also have the DBE TV channel on OpenView, which is 122 on the OpenView bouquet.
So let's start with the actual website that young people can click onto. If they want to access OpenView, how do they actually do that?
The DBE website is education.gov.za. When you arrive there, you'll be able to find all the material that's available there. The first point of call is obviously the Second Chance Matric Support Program, and then that will then lead you on to all the other links with the support material, the online classes, as well as the face-to-face lessons. With the OpenView bouquet, obviously you'd have to purchase the decoder, which is a once-off cost, and then once you're on there, on channel 122 is where you'll be able to find the DBE channel. So across the myriad of the day, we provide specific educational content, obviously looking at lessons that are then done by teachers that would then be able to assist candidates to then bounce ideas off, but also then be able to then actually pick up the topics from the warm bodies as well. The main aspect of the message that I come to deliver as well is to say that it's never the end of the road. I think even if you do find yourself not wanting to follow academic pathways, there are vocational pathways that one can follow. So I think the most important thing is to really believe in yourself, to continue to push and to really bring out the best version of yourself. It might not be in an academic stream, it could be in a vocational stream, but you will still really be a positive contributor to society.
So you failed your matric, and of course the question is what now? And hopefully that insert has given you a little bit of insight on what the next step is going to be for you, because there's definitely hope for you at the end of this tunnel. You are watching Expressions. We'll be back right after this. Melody, a very warm welcome to Expressions. I mean, today we definitely want to just gain some insights and obviously very important like motivation for a lot of the matrics who might have not done well this year. What would you like to say to them, especially if you have failed in this particular matric?
Jackie, firstly, thank you again for having me, and also to the Expressions viewers. It's always a pleasure to be in your midst. I think 2021 was a tough year for students. Most importantly, it was a tough year for those who had a dream of going somewhere. I think today we can honestly say that it's the one who didn't try that truly failed. And for the ones that did try, you already are halfway there. The lesson of winning is like you gotta pursue it in order to learn from it. Because if you don't pursue it, you can't learn anything. I'd like to remind the students of 2021, the matriculants of 2021, that 22 is another opportunity. It's people that are alive that get opportunities to try again. If you're dead mentally inside and you've given up, you need to find something to raise you up again to the opportunity.
And we know there's a lot of stigma around failing. Nobody ever wants to fail. And we also know that usually during this time, there is a rise in suicide. What tips can you give those young people out there who are watching the show and saying, listen, I hear you, Melody, but I just need tips. Give me a step-by-step on what I can do today to just get myself back on the horse.
So I myself failed my first year in university, the first 6 months. And the reason that I found myself, where I am today was because I was constantly aware of where I need to be. Don't change the goal, change the route to your goal. That's number one. If things have changed, don't change where you want it to go. Just change how you're going to get there now. Number two is that on your way to rebuilding yourself, you always got to re-energize your mind. What we consume is important, and I always say that social media plays a very pivotal role in how we grow. And if you're consuming negativity, you become it. So number two, spaces, be aware of it. And I think number three for me is the personal one, is that you need to arm yourself with the knowledge of execution. Arm yourself with the knowledge of how am I going to get to university? Arm yourself with how am I going to make sure I don't miss the bus? And if you can do that for yourself, you've then stripped yourself, or rather you've clothed yourself with the opportunity of whatever comes my way, I'm prepared.
And for the people around, maybe that matriculant who's failed, how can they best support them?
So to the supporting structure, communication is important. We need to stop judging failure. Failure is a great opportunity for a lesson. If someone has failed around us, it means that they tried something, didn't work. Let them try again, unless they're going to stay stuck. And no one wants to stay stuck. And probably another third point would be, amongst the important elements that people that support people that have gone through this is share your story. By me sharing my story, I'm opening my heart to say, if I can do it, why not you? Why not Jackie? If we can do it, why not you? Try again. And if we actually like, try again. Until you get to the point whereby it's either you're doing the same mistake wrong or you're honestly not trying hard enough.
How do we best learn from failure? I mean, I like exactly what you said, to say like almost like failure is not the end. How do we learn from failure? How do we embrace the idea and the opportunity of second chances?
There's a saying that says that winning is not a great teacher. Success is not a great teacher, but failure is. Because success will continuously help you get there, but the day you lose, it won't tell you how to get up. But failure teaches you how whenever you do fall, even though you're successful, you know how to get up again. We can call on many names in the world that have achieved great success, from athletes. I mean, Usain Bolt lost before he started winning. Today we see him as a champion. You can't get there without being willing to lose. The question becomes, are you willing to lose for the success you want?
So, Mklo, we've come to the end of today's episode, and I think if you are a young person right now who's asking yourself, what now? I've failed, I've not done really well. I hope as Expressions we've given you the information and the knowledge for you to know what the next step is, and hopefully you are inspired enough to know that there is a second chance, that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, you might have failed, yes, you might have not done well, but that does not define you. And I think some of the stories on today's episode tells us that there definitely is a light at the end of that tunnel, right? And so hopefully you're inspired and empowered and informed by what we were able to put together for you on today's episode.
Yeah, and of course, some of my greatest takeouts namhlanje was ukukhuluma noLosha to hear what they went throughout that important year of having to write matric exams, but also saying as much as we did not do well, we're picking ourselves up and just qhubekela phambili. And thank you so much to all the experts who also came onto the platform to share their hints and pointers with us. We are richer in knowledge as a show. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for watching lapho emakhaya, and thank you for your participation in Kundlan Zethu Zokuxhumana. Till next time, and kahle.
Adios, muchachos.